Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. We are finishing out our unit for Unit 6, Evidence of Evolution, this week. Today, we're going to be finishing up concepts of relative dating and adding in a new idea about index fossils. And then we'll have 2 more lessons this week, shifting over to absolute dating. Your directions for today. First thing you're going to do is complete the Google form for the attendance. Next, you're going to read these directions and watch the video. First thing you have to do after watching this video is there's a question posted in Google Classroom with a YouTube link about our topic for today, index fossils. So you will see the question posted. It says the video uses a cell phone as an example of an index fossil. If you were to find an old cell phone in a box of items in your attic, based on how it looks, you could have an idea of how old the rest of the stuff is. Can you think of anything in your house that could serve as an index fossil for how old it is based on its unique appearance? Watch the video first. It's important to know what an index fossil is, how the video uses a cell phone as an example before you're able to answer this question about how you could use something else in your house as an example for an index fossil. You'll complete that question and hit submit. Next, you're going to do a little bit of reading and answering some questions about index fossils. So you're going to open up lesson 11, index fossils. It looks like this. There's some reading to start. Do the reading. It's important information that you need to know in order to understand what an index fossil is. So read through this information carefully, and then you're answering the questions that follow. Just a few questions. Then there's an activity where you see a fossil range chart of 3 different fossils, when they were around in geologic history, and then where you could find them in the rock layers of this area. You're using the information from above, knowing what an index fossil is, and telling me which of these 3 fossils exist over the longest period of geologic time. Look at these arrow links. That might give you a sign. When did Linnaeus live? Look at Linnaeus and use the arrow to answer that question. And then when did Ripidemila live? And of those 3, which do you think would be the best index fossil based on the information we have? What other 2 pieces of criteria would that fossil have to meet in order for it to be considered an index fossil? Think back to the reading. The reading is going to help you on this. Final thing to do is a CER Google form. You're not writing a CER, but we're using kind of that framework of claim, evidence, and reasoning about the concepts of relative dating and the concept of index fossils. This is going to be graded for 8 points. It's not due until next class, so take your time on it. And if you have questions, come into Zoom, talk to one of your teachers, or send me an email after class. But if you have questions during class, get yourself into Zoom. We're there for a reason. So this is posted under graded assignments, lesson 11. It is giving you a strata of rocks, layers of rocks, and you're putting in the order from oldest to youngest. You can use your resources, so go back to last class's activity in the notes. That might help. You're telling me which 2 laws you had to use in order to determine the relative ages of the rock layers above. You're explaining the laws from the evidence in your own words and how you use them to sequence the rock layers above. Then you have a question about index fossils. It gives you information about a fossil. You have to read this in order to get the question right, so please read it. You're telling me, is that fossil a good index fossil based on what you know? You could go back to today's reading to double check. Which of the criteria for being a good index fossil does that index fossil or does that fossil meet? It says choose all that apply. So if you think it's all 3, click all 3. If you think it's only 2, click 2. So choose all that apply. And then finally, based on your evidence, why do you think it is or is not a good index fossil? Give me an explanation. This is worth 8 points. Again, not due until next class. If you have questions, don't struggle through it alone. Come into Zoom and I can help you. After class, if you have questions, you can always email me. All right, lots to do today, so make sure you get to work quickly so you can get these things done.